Good morning and welcome to the Friday edition of the Scoreboard, your morning hockey report. Yes, it's Friday, the end of week 6 here, and running the Scoreboard in the morning. It's been a real pleasure doing this, and I've certainly enjoyed it. And besides that, it forces me to get up early and take a look at what's gone on in the hockey world on the previous night. Well, Thursday night was a big night everywhere, so let's get right at it. Oh, I guess we don't want to look at that. We want to take a quick look here at some transactions. This has sort of been the snakes and ladders, the ups and downs. You can take a quick look at this. There's a whole plethora of action taking place. Goaltenders seem to be a big part of this, particularly Ottawa Senators. They've suffered a deluge of injuries, not only to players, but to their goaltenders in particular. So that's it with the transactions. You've had a chance to take a look at them, your favorite team, etc. NHL action last night. Ooh, Sabres. Sorry, Harper, but they took it on the chin last night. Dallas Stars 10, Buffalo 4. In the shootout, New Jersey Devils over Washington 3-2. Islanders 4-3 over Pittsburgh in OT. Penguins get to pick up a point there. Rangers 4, Montreal 3 in the shootout. Carolina 1-0 over Philadelphia Flyers. Vegas 4-3 over Tampa. Tampa picks up a point. Edmonton 3, Boston 2. One of those rare Bruin losses for this season. St. Louis 4, San Jose 2. Los Angeles Kings 5, Colorado 2. Arizona 4, Nashville 1. And the late game didn't start till 10 o'clock last night. Ottawa had, I think, a 3-0 lead after the first 10 minutes. Hung on regardless anyways for a 5-4 win over Seattle. And that win for the Senators was a necessary win to keep them in this playoff race. Taking a look around, Evan Boucher's team, Halifax, I think they've upped their lead now in their division to 32 points with a 4-1 win over Lackady Bathurst. Evan didn't score in that game, and they're right back at it tonight with the very same team, but in the opposition's barn. OHL. Well, we won't say, in 1961, I remember Ernie Calcutt coming on the sports and on CFRA, and the PK Combines were playing down in Moncton. And they lost the deciding game, and Ernie Calcutt said, "It's curtains for the Combines." Well, it's not curtains for Peterborough Petes, but in the overtime last night, they lost their regular Thursday night game to who else but the Kingston Frontenacs. Now, Kingston sold the farm back on after January 9th trade deadline, or signing deadline, and they came through again. They're not getting any closer, but they're playing a vital role in a lot of people's action. Take a look at that top score, though. That's important. Hamilton 4, Niagara 3. Well, what that has done is it has allowed Hamilton, Gavin Whitesack's team, to now catch up to the Peterborough Petes. And those standings in the East for the playoff spots are so tight. Friday night action, Niagara is at Hamilton. And guess what? The Petes are in Kingston to play against those same Frontenacs. I'm sure Gavin and the boys will be seeking revenge. Excuse me. Hockey East, Cody Mons. Yesterday we told you about they were 2-1 overtime winners over New Hampshire. And Saturday night they are playing against Northeastern. That's in Boston. And tonight, Salmon Arm is at Vernon in the BCHL League. That's Ryan Gillespie. Okay, a little closer to home, CCHL. Lots of exciting things happened and happening there. Last night, Thursday night at the Ed Lumley, Cornwall hung on for a 3-2 win over Carleton Place Canadians. Critical game to both teams. Tonight, the action gets hotter and heavier. Those same Cornwall Colts are in town to play against the Braves, 7:30 start. Also tonight, Kemptville at Hawkesbury and Ottawa at Rockland. Big game for Kemptville, Hawkesbury, and Rockland. Ottawa, I think, are pretty safe at the top spot in the league. Oh, speaking of top spot, let's take a look at those at the CCHL standings. Well, there's your Brockville Braves sitting in there with 62 points, but look above them, Renfrew with 63 and Carleton Place Canadians with 64. And if we jump down to the Iserman division, Hawkesbury Hawks, who have only played 50 games, have 61 points. So that battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, the point spread is now 61, 62, 63, and 64. It's going to be a barn burner of a finish. You can bet your sweet little baby on that. Also, let's take a look at Kemptville, hanging in there with 54 points. This is the battle for the 8th and final playoff spot. Kemptville, 54 points. But look down in the Iserman division. Cornwall's now moved up with 53. Of course, they've now played one more game than Kemptville. And right behind them is Rockland with 50 points. But they've got 2 games in hand on Cornwall and 1 on Kemptville. So a really staunch 3-way battle there. So don't forget, I guess we better go back before I forget this. You know, the OJHL has finished the regular season. Oakville Blades didn't make the playoffs. That happens, not the end of the world. Gavin McCarthy from Athens will say, I'm not exactly sure where the farm is. I know if you're looking for beef or pork, Brian's always got that stuff. Gavin McCarthy, look at this, folks. Gavin McCarthy was awarded the team's most valuable player. Quite a step. You know, Brian played in the North for a couple of years, came down to Oakville, and walked away with this plaque. Congratulations to Gavin McCarthy. And, you know, he's got plaques like that from golf as well. So let's go back and take a quick look at these standings. I just have one comment to make. Brockville Braves will be minus 4 players tonight due to suspensions. Captain Lucas Culhane's sitting at game number 4 of his 5-game suspension for the attempt to injure. Who do we have? Spencer Stanitz, Nutsy, is serving game 2 of his 2-game suspension from last Friday. He was tagged with a 1-game suspension because he had a fight in the last 10 minutes. That's a league rule. And then he was given a 1-game suspension because he was labeled as the aggressor in that fight. Just announced on Wednesday, the league ruled Aiden Yard gets a 1-game suspension because he had a goalie interference call, which was the second one in the game. I think Jake LaVille had one earlier, and Aiden gets the 1-game suspension because his was the second goalie interference call in the same game. And Kyle Powers is also suspended for 1 game as well. I'm not sure of the details on that, but regardless, see you at the Brockville Memorial Center tonight for that big game against the Cornwall Colts. Thanks very much for watching. See you on Monday with the next morning report.